Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Yoga Bagus Natria, and right now I'd like to discuss about what is English. Okay, what is English? I want to ask you before that. What is English? Okay, the first lesson of ours is English. What is English? What is English? What is English language? Okay, the English language basically, absolutely, that come from or is named after the Angles. Okay, one of the ancient Germanic peoples that migrated to the island of Great Britain, existing on a dialect continuum with Scots, and then most closely related to the Low Saxon and Frisian languages. Modern English is genealogically Germanic, although its grammar and core vocabulary are mostly West Germanic. It has borrowed many words from French, which represent approximately 28% of English words, and Latin especially, which represent about 28%, and some grammar and core vocabulary from Old Norse, a North Germanic language. Speakers of English are called Anglophones. The English language was used in some of the world's earliest and most prestigious universities, including the University of Oxford in Oxford, the world's second oldest university, founded in 1096, and the University of Cambridge in Cambridge, the world's third oldest university, founded in 1209, which educated some of the most notable political, scientific, literary, and intellectual leaders of the era. The earliest forms of English, collectively known as Old English of Anglo-Saxon, evolved from a group of North Sea Germanic dialects brought to Great Britain by Anglo-Saxon settlers in the 5th century. These dialects generally resisted influence from the then local Common Brittonic and British Latin languages. So, my students, I'm going to tell you about this one, and especially when you've got something else newly from your English teacher in the classroom. Don't worry about it. There's nothing too late for learning in English. Rather than you apply jobs from other places. Because why English very needed by the sophisticated era. My students, remember, learning English is not harder than you apply your jobs from other places. Because why? English very easy to practice with. By your own social media, such as what? Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Line, and Snapchat, and other things. My students, speaking of the English itself. What is English if I want to ask you? The first is English kind of like the human must life that we have to do like this, we have to do like that, we have to do another one or other ones. But the conclusion, when you try to learn or practice in English, try to understand that the English itself, like Indonesian. Indonesian is the same as the as the English itself. Indonesian very easy to be learned, to be practiced, to be understood, and to be meant. By whom? By ourselves. Because why? English is very that important like Indonesian. So that's why if you'd like to try to learn about the English itself, okay, you must practice or learn English slower and slower, or step by step learning, or step by step practicing. That's some of like the great idea that to insist ourselves. We must speak up in English slowly by slowly. That's why what exactly? We gotta be very like a English influencer as ourselves. I don't want to force you to learn or practice in English. I don't have any matters with human lives. I just wanna exactly give you a great opportunities. When one day, when you wanna get your jobs at other places, that is very easy. When you get something, perhaps when you wanna become the English teacher in the classroom, and when you try to learn about the English itself as the first communication like Indonesian. Because why? We and myself as the English teacher very approved that the English itself is very easy to practice with. I don't have any help of other people from the outside, from the inside. No. I try to learn English as how I wanna get something else from jobs other places. By the meantime, if you wanna get something else from your English practice, like the how, it is you learning English itself, but not being pressed by someone else. You try to communicate English as a standard, as a standard English beginner practicer. So that's why English is very easy to communicate to another of others. So that's why English very that important. Because English is the international language. If you wanna try to express your feelings to whom you love with, to whom you regard with, to whom you ask for, to whom you speak with. That's why English is the best solution to be very, very, very well understood. Ladies and gentlemen, and also my students, vices and parents, me as the English teacher, Try to force your students, try to force your children to be the English influencer at this time, the best generation of all the Gen Z. You've got the best opportunities to yourselves, especially to whose your beloved children would like to go to the abroad. We don't know about it. And so that's why my messages to my lovely students and children from the outside in Indonesia. It is time to be the next Gen Z and to be the next, probably the Gen X or anything else like that, when you try to speak up in English. There's no time that to be late for that. You try to understand how to communicate English so very well. Don't feel that you can speak up in English while you can, okay? Because why? It is time to have the life meaningful to yourselves. So that's why I offered you, try to force your children or your students as the children's vices or parents, as the students' teachers. Try to force your student or your children to have the life meanings by practicing and learning English itself. So that's why I'm here. My name is Yoga Bagus Natria. I was from the University Shafia as the English teacher at English Literate. From the faculty of of the science and teachers, something like that. So that's why you must learn and practice in English fluently. You're so much better than me. So that's why my name is Yoga when I mention you, and thank you for hearing my video. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon and see you.